Hello, welcome back for more Haskell streaming. Tonight I'm going to carry on with the refactoring work where I'm implementing the rest of the new storage layer and taking out the code for the old storage layer and just tidying up a little bit. But before I get back into that, I want to correct something from last week where I had a piece of code that didn't work and I thought it was because of laziness. And I went back and looked at it and it turns out it's not that at all. It's just me being a bit stupid. So I'm going to cover it off. What I was trying to do is use bind across either and rely on the fact that if you get some left result, then it doesn't evaluate anything after that. So to give an example, if you have some function A and it returns left of some error, and we'll give it a type, so it's going to be either string in this case for the error or unit, it won't do anything. And you have B, which is another function, and it's successful, so it returns right of unit. So that's the same type, so it's either going to be a string or unit. If you just call B on its own, it evaluates the right of unit. If you call A on its own, it evaluates the left error. And then if you join them together, so you run A and then call B, it doesn't actually call B. It stops on the first error it gets. So I was trying to make use of this for this duplicate checking. So I have a thing which does the duplicate checking, and I thought, okay, it returns either a storage error or a unit. Just comment out this code for a second. And I thought, cool, I can call check duplicate, if we could type it, check duplicate in file, I think it was, and it takes fs.host file. So that will look for a duplicate in that file, and if that returns an error, then we don't want to do the next check. But if it does, we're going to do the next check, which is check duplicate in file, and this is going to be in the participants file. Okay, and then I used it somewhere else where I did a similar thing where I basically called check duplicate, and if that's successful, then I do the next action. And it wasn't working, and I thought it was because of laziness. But it turns out that's not the case at all. The thing is, this is actually IO of either storage error or unit. It's not either storage unit. Sorry, it's not either storage error or unit. So this bind operator is not acting on the either type, it's acting on the IO type. So I create another function, and that's going to be pure A, and the type of this is now IO, either string or unit, and we'll create another function for B prime, which is just B lifted into IO, so that's going to be pure B, and again the type of this is IO, either string or unit. If I then say A prime, and then bind it to B prime, you can see you get the answer of B prime, which is right unit but lifted into IO. So the fact that this duplicate checking wasn't stopping the execution was nothing to do with laziness. It was being evaluated. It's purely to the fact that I was binding IO actions, not either actions. So a little bit of stupidity last week. I looked at it again yesterday to try and work out what was happening with laziness, and I went, oh, it's nothing to do with that at all. But we're only human, some of us. Okay, so laziness out of the way. Incidentally, that a couple of things, so I don't need that. That's why this fix works. It's not because I'm forcing the evaluation by storing it in some variable I use later. This is working because it's actually running it under IO, but then extracting the value, and you end up with either storage error or unit. So this check works because now the type of host check is either storage unit or error, rather than being IO of either storage check or unit. Sorry, either storage error or unit. And then up here, this works for the same reason. Again, it's because when you call check duplicate. This whole thing is running under IO, so we're really just getting the inner part of that, the either storage area unit, and then we can use it in our case statement. Okay, so that's where the bug came from and why the fix works, and nothing to do with laziness at all. I didn't need the dollar somewhere else. Here last week I tried doing this to force evaluation, but it's nonsense. I don't need that at all. Okay, so the reason I hit this bug is because I was writing add person. So here I'm using it for adding participants and presumably for adding hosts as well. And the idea is that we will not add a participant if that person is already in the host file or in the participants file. And the same with adding hosts, it'll check both of those before adding them. So actually I'll check it works the way I expect. That's not long ago. So I'll build. I think participants file has got a lot of hatties due to the bug and one hippie, and I think the hosts is empty. Nope, the host has got a lot of nonsense in it. So let me just truncate those files. That was participants, and I'll do hosts as well. So if I say cabal run, I'll add a host called Hattie. That should work. And if I try and add Hattie again, it's noticed that Hattie is already in the cast. That's good. And I should not be able to add a participant either. Good. I can't add Hattie because it's already in the cast. And then hippie should work. And presumably now I cannot add hippie as a host. Okay, cool. So this code is working the way I expected, which is nice. This add hosts and participants, I can just inline the definition. Oops. If I could type it properly. Can I? No, because I could do, but then I have to grab FS for each of them. And participants. So I need to say FS and P. Oh, no, it's okay, I can just do that. That's cool. And for add host, I can do the same thing, I think, which is add person, FS. I need to grab these things. Need FS and the host, add person FS, and then hosts file, and then h.getHost. So I can get rid of those helper functions. Maybe, can I? Add host is no longer used, and a participant is no longer used, I think. Okay, so now we are adding host, listing hosts, removing hosts, adding participants, listing participants. I haven't written yet, and removing participants is not written yet. We're going to list hosts. We don't have the unmarshalling anymore. Because we don't have a host prefix anymore. Or at least we shouldn't do. Because they're going in separate files, I just got rid of that host prefix. So this stripping the prefix and this whole unmarshalling thing is unnecessary, maybe is unnecessary. I think all I need to do is just read that file, which gives me a list of texts. Is that right? Is that right? So the type of read file, oops, sorry, thought I got it up there. There we go. Type of read file is IO list of text. Oh, okay. And I want to map the mapping. That's nice. Okay, so that's going to give me back some lines. And then at this point, I want to map this over the contents of lines. So type of lines is, it's not scrolling this box for me. Lines is a list of text. So host, I thought it should be a constructor. Host says text %1 to host. I'm not quite sure what this %1 means. That's confusing me. It's a bit confusing. Have I got? I did a constructor for host, and the constructor is just host, right? Yeah. Okay, so I have my lines. I have my line, which is just a list of text, and then I want to map, write this out. So map host over lines, and then should be able to return that under IO. Okay. So can I then say map host over that? Yes, I can. Okay. Right, so if we go a little bit further, and instead of giving it file storage directly, we just give it the path. And that becomes the path, and then we just read the path. Okay, and then I can call this list people. So list people in host file and list people in list people in distance file is a little bit trickier. So now we need a function which goes from text to A for all A, and then we get back a list of A's. So we just call this F function. Okay, so now I can say, given this path and this constructor, give me back a list of things in that file. And up here for list hosts, I can say, given some file system, or some file storage, list people. I'm just going to switch that up a bit so you can see the full screen. List people, and it's going to be fs.hosts file. Not quite. Oh, I need a constructor, sorry, host as well. Then list participants can be list people, fs.participants file. I'll give it access to fs. Participants file, and then participant constructor. Okay, and then removing a host. So again, we've got the marching and unmarching to worry about. So I'm going to rename this to remove people, and it's going to take a file path, and we'll just take text at this point. Let someone else worry about converting it into text for us. So given some X in this file path, we don't need to lift IO anymore because we're running under IO. So we read the file of path. That gives us the current contents. Then we delete X. And then we write, we don't need to lift it anymore. Then we write the contents into the path. And that should be what we need. And we don't need to marshal the host anymore. Okay. Rip file path. Join the lines together from the contents. Okay. So now we can redefine remove host as and the host, sorry. From host, we can say remove people, which would probably be remove person. It's going to take fs.host file and it's going to take h.getHost. And down here for participant, I can just drop it in there, and this time it's going to be given fs and a participant. It's not going to be host file, it's going to be participants file. And it's going to be p.getParticipant. Okay, and those should be the remaining implementations I was missing from this instance. Host prefix can go. I think that's probably what we need now. Add person, duplicate, list people, remove people. It should be remove person, I think. Okay, a bit of a random order, but that's fine. Then we can get rid of this. Don't need that anymore. And then presumably all of this stuff now is dead. Ooh, not quite, apart from read file, which we do need to keep. Okay, so some help at the end. What is that used? Oh, so it's working out where to store files. Okay. Okay, so we still have topics in here. Guess that's fine. Is that fine? I think it is, because as we define file storage, we also want to implement these instances. You can't do it in another module. Then adding topics. How does that compare to adding people? It was lower down, wasn't it? Add topic is here. And then add person is doing a duplicate check, which you probably do want. Put them side by side. Ish. So this is going file storage. And this thing, I could probably just pass in the path here. Okay, it can't really do it because check duplicate is hard coded to know about hosts and participants. So the implementation is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so skip that. What does append file return? It returns IO of unit, and I'm saying add IO of write unit. Okay, that makes sense. We should probably still do a duplicate check though. So check duplicate in file. Just outdent that. So we're looking for, we're going to look for some path and some text. And this is going to be path and name. You read the file. If the name is an element of the lines we get back, then we get duplicate error, otherwise nothing. Okay, so oops, that's going to be check duplicate in file of name, and this is also going to be a name. And I can reuse check duplicate file for the topic. So duplicate is going to be check duplicate. Can I go to complete in file? We're going to give it the path, which is topics file, and the thing we're looking for, which is t.getTopic. And then we can say case, oops, duplicate of, and if you get left storage error, I can't remember what I did there. If we get left of any error, then we return that error. Okay, and if we get right of unit, there was no error, then we do those things. Okay. Listing topics. Now that seems very much like listing people. So let me grab it again, I'll put them side by side. Okay, so here we could, instead of passing in file storage and calling topics file on it, we could pass in just topics file, and then we can give it a constructor. This is actually going to be list things. And then list topics can be implemented in terms of list things. So where do we have list topics? It's down here. So that's going to be list things. And given some file system, or file storage, we're going to say fs.topics file, and then the constructor for this is topic. Okay, and then removing a topic, how close is this to removing a person? Are they already next to each other? They are. Okay, cool. So this goes file path text, and this goes file storage topic, but we can fix that. Lift IO is unnecessary because under IO. We read the contents, we delete the thing from it, we write it back to that path. So this could be remove thing. Then I can get rid of this and define this in terms of remove thing. So give them some topic. I can say remove thing fs.topics file and t.getTopic. Okay. So that should have fully implemented the file storage. I think. So in theory, we still haven't done it for episodes incidentally, but in theory, I can say run the API. And that's not the one I wanted. Here we go. Localhost 81. So topics. It's now showing the topics, and it's showing the cast. Okay, I take it these still work, so I can add. If I try and add hippie, it says it works, but if I reload the page, it has not worked. Okay, so our error handling is not great in this, but it's doing the right thing behind the scenes. But Hoppy as a host should work. Yep, and adding participant of Blippi. That also works. Okay, cool. Delete Blippi. And can we promote? Yes, we can. Can we demote? That works as well. Okay, so the file storage for the API works. I take it this works as well. So reload the page. Interesting. Don't quite know what happened there. I think that might be missing a new line. Okay, so we have a look at the topics file. It is indeed missing a new line. So if I just truncate that file, it's going to restart the API. It's now empty. So if you say new topic, that's okay. Old topic. That's not right. Okay, so since there's a problem when we add stuff that we're not adding an empty line for topics, but only for topics. That's because the code for adding a topic is different from the code for adding people. That makes sense that it might be different. That can go. Okay, so makes me wonder if I can actually find a way of combining these. So here I'm saying append file, get topic, and here presumably, yeah, append file, the name with a new line. So I wonder if I can give this, we need to know which file to add it into. We need a list of files where we look for duplicates, and then we need the thing that we're adding. I can probably do that. So add thing. So this is the file path that we're adding stuff into. And then we need a list of file paths where we check for duplicates. Additional file paths where we check for duplicates. And then we need the name that we're adding, and it's going to run under IO and return either storage error or unit. Just break that over a couple of lines, and then add thing. So given path, and then the duplicate paths, and then the thing. Then we can say we need to do our duplicate check first. So I can say duplicate is check duplicate, and we'll give that the thing and the duplicate paths the other way around. So those are places we're looking, and that's the thing we're looking for. I will add the path onto the start of that. So if you adding it to host file, you say also look in participants, but you need to say look in hosts again. We'll just assume that we're going to check that. And then we can say case duplicate of, and if it's left error, we just return that error. I might lift this pure to the outer scope now. So pure of that. And if it's right of unit, that means we're good to continue. So here we want to say whatever that thing was. This gives me, okay, we got our path. We don't have FS, that's okay. And we have name and a new line. And then we can say that. Maybe. No, we can't. Okay, you do need to, we can't float the pure up to here because these types are not matching up. So that's pure of left E, and this is going to be append the X, and then we will say pure of right of unit. I don't understand this problem there. Oh, lack of brackets. Go back into one line and we get rid of the do. Okay, almost there. File storage. Oh yes, check duplicate. I need to rewrite. Okay, so check duplicate is going to take a path, a file path. No, it's going to take a list of file paths. And then it's going to take the thing we're looking for. Right, so it's going to be paths. And this is called X. So X is the thing we're looking for. Okay, so we want to look for, we want to call check duplicate in file on all the paths. So I think this is probably what I want, but we'll find out. Type of mapm. Give me a type of mapm. It's always at the very end. I want to see the type before the error. Okay, so for all whatever T is type to type, and M is a type to type, and an N or B, goodness, where T is traversable and M is a monad, given some function A to MB, so that's our check duplicate file, and the M in this case is IO, and the B is the either storage error, or sorry, either duplicate error, no, either storage error or unit. Okay, and a list of A's, so this is going to be the paths. So I need to get this partially applied to the point where it's expecting a path. Then we should get back a list of results, a list of either storage errors or units. And for that, we want to return the first error we encounter. Okay, so check duplicate in file. Now, unfortunately, this has to come first. And then the list of paths. So check the file, I have to switch these arguments around. Look at text to the file path to that result. And switch these around. So you get name and then path. We should be good again. Okay, so check duplicate file. Oh, why did it expect IO unit? Okay, so we now have something that goes from A, which is a path, because this is our list of paths. It goes from a single path to IO. Is that right? It goes to IO of either storage error or unit. Then we give it list of paths and it should give us back a list of either storage unit or error running under IO. We could use traverse. What's the type of traverse? So some traverse on some applicative. So A to some applicative. Or B, yeah, it's similar, very similar thing. Okay. Check duplicate file, ticks an X, and then that should return something that goes from file path to this. And why? Why is it saying that? So we can say maybe this is not what I want to do. If I just change that to reverse, it's not going to magically work because it's got a very similar signature. Wait this for a second. I'll just ditch that. So we can say put strlen and then paths. I don't understand why it wants it to be IO of unit. Well, actually saying the actual is IO of unit, not the expected. But where does it expect it? Does it expect it? Is the expectation that this will be the thing? Or is the expectation that I don't know. This again, so mapm. Got my function. It's got my list of things. A can be any type, it just needs to be a list of those things. And I get back a list of whatever was produced by calling this. I'm very confused now. kernel REPL. So I'm going to call mapm. I'll put strlen over a list of hello Bob. Okay, so the type of put strlen is string to IO of unit. That's kind of what I expected, right? So you run this action, these things, you collect the results, and it returns those things. And I can even say A is that, and ask the type of A, and it's IO of a list of units, the list of the things that come out of put strlen. Okay, so if I have some kind of check function, and that's going to say pure of left of error, and the type of that is going to be IO of either string or unit. Okay, and that's not quite right. Let's try it again. So C is going to be slightly different, given some argument. X is going to be left of unexpected X, and this is going to be now a string IO of either string or unit. Not quite. You have to define like this. Nope. Would bracketing it help? Is it to do with the bind? The monoid, not quite. Is it that in fact? It's not that either. Well, that's confusing me now. Don't think it's going to be that. C of X is going to be string to that. Let me just ignore the X for a second, just in case of that. So that seemed to work before I set it string to something. Maybe I can't define a function in GHCI like this. Left unexpected. I can't just lie about the type though. I can't say it's this if I'm not expecting a string. Nope. So drop the string out. It does work. Let's reload. Clear up. So that works, but this doesn't. So that I define a function here. That's annoying. I just wanted to test calling mapm with something that took an argument. Okay, maybe it's not easier to do it on the command line. So here, the thing I was working with before is putrelin. It's actually going to be that. I think, because no, it's not. Sorry, paths are a list of strings. So that I thought worked previously, and then I can just say pure of right of unit. Okay. Right, it's because I wasn't returning the right result, and it was the last action in a do block. Okay, so now I think I can say, this is where I think I can say check duplicate in file, and I'm going to give it its X. Okay. And then if I say results or duplicates, maybe outcomes, I don't know what it is. The type of outcomes should now be a list of either storage error unit. And it is, that's cool. Okay, now I want to find the first left inside there. So I have a list of either A or B, and let's say I want to get the first B, or single either A or B. No. You got a list of maybe A and you want to get an A out. That's not saying either, is it? In THC was not in core. First justs. Okay. Is there some kind of first left? No, there's not. Is left is a thing. So I could get some lefts back. So I can say first left, given a list of either A or B, and we'll get the first A back. Maybe an A. And then we want to say first left given some X's. So first we're going to call filter, and then is left on X's. Many errors. Here's with left, define, import it. That's a good start. Okay. So what's the type of this? We have filter, right? Filter goes from A to bool, which is the is left. List of X's. Okay, so this gives us back all of the this gives us back all of the errors, all of the lefts. Is there like a lefts? Let's have a look at his left and see what's around it. from left. Partition ethers, that might be what I want. Well, it's close enough anyway. Lefts, there we go. All of the lefts. Okay, so we say lefts of x's. In fact, we don't care about successful ones, right? We just want the lefts of that. And these are going to be our errors. And then we can say case errors of, and it was an empty list and there were no errors. So that's going to be pure of right of unit. That's our success case. And if we have a list, got anything in there at all, we're going to say pure of left of x, except that this is an error, so I'm going to call it E. And go to this. What's this symbol? That's new. Ooh, the sparkly showcode actions. Oh no, what are they? No code actions available. Just take a while to catch up. Okay, so I'll need to import lefts. I need to clean up my imports. But now, I check duplicate. In theory, you give it a list of places to look. It looks at those places for the duplicates. It gets back a list of possible errors, pulls out all of the errors. If there are no errors, then it returns. I might just swap these around a little bit. So if there is an error, it returns the first one it finds. Otherwise, just return no error. So right of pure in this case. And then say right of unit. And then we can get rid of the pures. There we go, kind of. Can I make this line up? Or will it not like that? Nope, doesn't like it. Okay. Right, so now in my add thing, the duplicate detection should work. And then it should add it to the file afterwards if there are no errors. Okay, so adding a person just becomes adding a thing, but with some extra paths. Where's my add person, add host? Okay, we can say now add thing, and it's fs.host file is where we're going to add it, and then we'll also pass in a list of the contained participants file. And then the thing we're adding, which is the host. And adding participant can be very similar. Add thing, and then fs.participant file, and then fs.hosts file, and then participant, and adding a topic becomes given some file system and some topic, add a thing, fs.topics, fs.topics path, no extra files, and then t.getTopic. So now we have one definition of adding things, removing things, listing things, adding things, and then that person can go. And we have our duplicate checking in place for all the things. Not quite. No topics pass on FS. There's no commands. I'm not quite sure why it hasn't worked out what the type is. But add topic goes from file storage and the topic to adding the thing. Oh, it's topic path, that's why. Is it? Topics file, I can see it in the line underneath. Okay. Try running the API again. And we go to here, reload that. Okay, so unfortunately we have a bit of a mess from before, but old topic, new topic. It seems to be adding okay. Kind of. So new topic, we still had the missing new line from the previous file, but old topic and new topic are working. Different topic. Okay, that works. And then the cast. Can we add Hattie? Add some error handling for that, but it doesn't add Hattie. Hattie, Hoppy, Hippie, Blippy. That works okay. And demote Blippy. That still works. And then delete Blippy. That works as well. Cool. Okay, so I now have a full implementation of file storage for the cast and for topics, and I've managed to condense the implementations a bit, so it's sharing implementations for adding and removing things. You just tell it where to add it and remove it and where to check duplicates. Okay, back to main for a second. So I still have episodes to go, but I think that's probably the last bit, and then I can finally clean up the old storage stuff. So we go to episode here. No, so I go to cast for a second. That's where we define this type class. I'm gonna have to do something similar for episodes. So I can't remember what we do for episodes, but it's probably, I don't know what the commands are, but it's going to be adding all the stuff I don't need anymore. This is a bit more complicated. Okay, so we need to build it. We store the upcoming episode. We don't store a list of episodes. Right. So we're going to store an episode, delete an episode, and do some editing to those things as well, like adding the topic or adding the I think we got it anywhere? No, it should be somewhere adding the topic, adding the host and the cast, or like removing cast members and adding cast members. So it's going to be a lot of this kind of, I don't need to do it on one line anymore. That's gone away, but some way of saying, put the episode information file probably on multiple lines, but also be able to load the host part of that or load the participant part of that. I'll come back to that next week because I'm running out of time tonight and it's a bit of work. But yeah, getting there, soon be able to throw away the old storage. Episode is going to be an episode in itself, I guess. Cool, then. Thanks for watching along. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up like last week. But yeah, I shall hopefully see you next week. Goodbye.